And the first thing I teach people is cannabis doesn't make you anything. You make you who you are. And what a lot of people do is they use cannabis as a permission slip to be who they already are, but be able to have an excuse as to why they're that way.
So one of the things that you've said on, I believe it was an Instagram video, and this mantra or this way of thinking has been something that's consistently popped up in your feed, which I love. You've said that you look at cannabis as a mirror. And so what makes cannabis a mirror to you? How do you use cannabis as a mirror? And I should also make clear that we're talking about THC cannabis, because I know people have different lingo. They'll say smoking weed, whatever, Mary Jane. So we're talking about THC cannabis as a mirror. What makes it a mirror to you?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And, for me, I think all plant medicines work in this way, all psychedelics, right? They all can act as a mirror. But I think cannabis, because cannabis actually, what I feel connects us more to our human experience, whereas like, say if you do ayahuasca or even like a heavy dose of mushrooms or peyote or any of these things, they can bring you a little bit farther out, right? And almost allow you to go home, whatever that is for someone, God, source, universe, quantum realm, whatever. They allow you to have that experience. But what I believe is that since we're only here for 100, 150 years, fingers crossed if we're lucky, and we're there for eternity, based on what I believe anyway, I don't know if it's right, but why wouldn't I want to be here as much as possible? And so for me, cannabis helps connect me to my human experience. And that's why I love cannabis over other medicines. It's not that I don't like those and I don't interact with them, but cannabis is like Old Faithful for me. And so how I found it to work like a mirror is that, I feel a lot of people externalize their power, especially right now with like, for instance, someone gets triggered and they go, he or she or they made me feel this way, right? So this happens with cannabis a lot. Cannabis makes me anxious. Cannabis makes me lazy. And the first thing I teach people is cannabis doesn't make you anything. You make you who you are. And, what a lot of people do is they use cannabis as a permission slip to be who they already are, but be able to have an excuse as to why they're that way, right? So, well, I wouldn't be lazy, but, every time I smoke cannabis, it just makes me lazy. So that's the only reason I'm lazy. It's like, no, you're not. You're a lazy person already, And so this mirror aspect, right? What I will tell you right now is that for anyone listening, you don't have to believe anything I'm going to say, but take this into consideration. If you choose to believe that cannabis is a mirror, right? And that all plant medicines are a mirror. And really everything in life is kind of a mirror, but we won't go to the all yet. But if we choose to believe that cannabis is a mirror, what can it show you about yourself? To me, that's much more empowering than thinking that you just fingers cross it when you interact with this plant and you get random results, right? So I like to look at this plant as a system of divination. And so it can allow us to learn things about ourselves. Just like when you pull from the I Ching, right? You read a riddle after you get your hexagrams, and then you actually think about what is this meaning, or what does this reading mean to me?